All right, DVD day. Yeah, there's some really very interesting DVDs that are coming out, and a lot of people, this is their favorite way of looking at a movie. So there you go. All right, first of all, I've got Afterlife coming out. Well, I'll tell you as I've learned to do, so you don't get lost in this. I'm going to tell you about Afterlife, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Kick-Ass, The Lovely Bones, and A Prophet. Okay, so that's five. And you can always check out drjoyreviews.com for more complete reviews, all right? So you'll know what to see when you go to when either you go to Blockbusters or you go to Netflix or whatever. Okay, let's start with Afterlife. Liam Neeson, Christina Ricci, Justin Long. This is a really weird movie. And it was really made more uncomfortable because I don't know whether this was made before Liam Neeson lost his wife Natasha Richardson or after. But it was certainly released after. And the idea is that there's a horrible accident, and Christina Ricci wakes up to find that the local funeral director, Liam Neeson, preparing her body for a funeral. And the question is she alive or dead? I mean, this was a really difficult movie to watch because of what you know about Liam Neeson. Her boyfriend still can't shake the suspicion that things aren't exactly what they appear to be. This was a movie that didn't quite work. It's creepy enough. Clearly it's a very good cast. And I don't know if it's because of what, not only I, but I think everybody else brings to the movie. It just didn't quite work. But it might work better on the small screen. We have less expectation. You can fast forward things. Diary of a Wimpy Kid is actually adorable. It's based apparently on an illustrated novel, which is called, strangely enough, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, that sold 24 million copies. Hello! This is the adventures of a kid in middle school who is the kind of kid that only occurs in movies, which is, wisecracking, like he has a writer, and he has to survive middle school. This was, I thought, actually a fairly accurate depiction of how really difficult it is sometimes to be in that age group. This one really worked as far as I was concerned. Diary of a Wimpy Kid, your kids will love it, especially if you have a middle school kid. But it's smart enough and funny enough, and the graphics, it was a good movie. Kick-Ass. I can't believe I actually said that, but that's the name of the movie. I think I reviewed it as Kick Butt, but it's Kick-Ass. This is Nicolas Cage and Chloe Grace Moretz. This was, again, a terrific movie. I think it's rated R, which was a shame because the idea was that you have a guy who wants to be a superhero, but he has no superpowers. And so his sort of Batman suit is a scuba diving outfit. I mean, how adorable is that? He's just an average kid who's a fanboy who wants to become a superhero. And he calls himself Kick-Ass. And he goes to work fighting crime, but he has no powers. He's not even a particularly strong kid. However, he's gotten that because he gets some publicity, as true in our world, that they get a subculture of copycats, including an 11-year-old sword-wielding dynamo hit girl. And she's terrific, except she swears. I don't know why they did that. They really didn't have to make it nearly as obscene as they did, which means that your kids can't go to see this in the theater, and you don't want young kids to see it, because if they start talking that way around the house, they're going to get their mouth washed out with soap, and if they talk that way at school, they're going to get sent home. Nicolas Cage is terrific in this one. He always has bad wigs, I don't know why. But this is actually a very good movie, and it's going to have a sequel. It did well, and should have done well. But it was a hard sell, because adults didn't go see it because it's got the protagonist is a kid, and kids can't go see it because it was R-rated. Not too smart on somebody's part in terms of marketing. Okay, The Lovely Bones. I read this book, sobbed through it. I'm not spoiling anything to tell you that a girl has been murdered, and I don't remember the book that we actually had to experience the murder. You do in the movie, which I think is a dreadful mistake. Peter Jackson did this, and there was a great fuss about him doing it. I mean, everybody's very excited. Stanley Tucci won an Oscar nomination for playing the bad guy in this, and he is truly creepy. I had a very hard time with this movie. The book was at least not exactly inspiring, but at least thought-provoking and kind of light. And this one has super saturated colors. It's almost like Alice in Wonderland meets Saw 2 or something. This was, I thought, didn't work at all. And I think it didn't do very well at the box office. This is not one for your kids. They'll have nightmares the rest of their lives. And I would suggest that you do too. This is probably one to, the book is extraordinary and touching and upsetting, but you feel like there's art. This one, I thought was a mess. I just had a hard time being there. The last one is probably the best of the group. It only made it like a couple $1 million. It's a profit. It was nominated for the French Oscar. In fact, it may have won the Oscar for Best Foreign Film. It's terrific. It's basically follows a young Arab who's sent to a French prison and becomes, through trial and error and a lot of trial and a lot of errors, sort of a mafia kingpin. And it's wonderful acting. It is incredibly violent. It is sexual. But I mean, it's a very grown-up movie. It's a very violent movie, but it's truly one of those that's very hard to get out of your head. So The Prophet, if you really if you're really a cinephile, if you really love movies, The Prophet is probably the best of the group. Lovely Bones, I'd skip. I'd read the movie. Kick-Ass is kind of fun, stupid, testosterone-soaked fun. You guys would like it. Diary of a Wimpy Kid is actually pretty good family entertainment. Afterlife is probably skippable. So the one of the week, the DVD of the week is The Prophet. It's subtitled, but the first 45 minutes I think have almost no dialogue in it. It's a really terrific movie. I know it's subtitled. I do not have a prejudice toward subtitles. I just have a prejudice for really good movies, and this is one. All right, more next week. Check it out at drjoyreviews.com. 800-544-7070. Now we've gone from real life to real life. I'm Dr. Joy Brown.